and welcome to this week's episode of The Act, the show where we devise an act for you. And we devise the act using these dice. Now, the first dice over here gives us a value. It ranges from £10 to £200 plus. That's what we want. Also, this dice gives us a different performing scenario. So we got things like table magic, stroll in, parlour, impromptu stage. And we've got a mystery one. And with the mystery one, I believe we can choose our own scenario. And this is the dreaded restriction dice. So this will tell us it can't use sleight of hand. And as Harry says, no Alexam products means no 100% real world workers. But there's also no coins, no talking, no mentalism, no cards. So, Andy, I'm going to let you do the honours. Let's start with the value.
Yeah, last time I did this, I didn't get very good ones.
£50. All right, that's all right. It ain't bad. What are you going for?
This is the performance style. Stage.
Oh.
Okay. This is the one that we all hate. No coins.
No coins.
Better.
Cool. Okay, that's great. So, £50, stage, no coins. So we're going to go for a sort of 8 to 15 minute act on stage for £50 or less. Now we can talk. And I would say for a good act, realistically, we want probably 3 effects.
Yeah.
2 or 3 effects.
Yeah.
Now, seeing as you've only got 15 minutes,
Yeah.
they're going to be a quickie,
Yeah.
a middler, which will be slightly longer, and a quickie to end.
See, I'm immediately drawn to the appearing glass as an opener, but I can't remember how much that is.
That's quite a heavy.
Yeah, it's going to take a big old chunk out of that.
But it's a great trick. Let me have a look. I think it's going to be too much. I think it's under £50, but I think it's going to take up too much of our budget.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, last time we did one,
Yeah.
we talked about two tricks as openers. One of them was the invisible deck.
Yeah.
And one of them was the tossed out deck.
Yeah.
I cannot remember what one we chose.
I think it was the invisible deck.
If that's the case, depending how expensive this is, appearing glass is £35.
Yes, that's a big old chunk, isn't it?
It's a big chunk of money for something that's going to be a quickie opener. It's great if you've got the budget, you're putting a show together. Seeing as we're restricted to £50,
yeah,
I would go less. So I would say a solid opener is tossed out deck.
Yeah, agree.
And a tossed out deck, let me have a look here.
I think they're about $7.99.
Tossed out deck by Alexam, £6.99.
$6.99. Yeah, so that makes a great opener. So we've got a good solid opener.
Okay, so we've got a good solid opener for £6.99. So that still leaves us £43.01. Ooh.
Have you just spotted the chain escape?
I have.
Yeah.
That's a fun routine.
It is a fun routine. And the thing is, right, is that you can, I mean, most people play it as a fun routine. You could play it slightly more serious. And also, if you check out something, or if you look at something like the Anthony Linden presentation with the straitjacket and the big curtain and stuff, you know, all right, that would take you out of budget if you're making the curtain and things. But as props go, you know, it's great. And I remember when I was first introduced to this, there was the guy that I saw perform it did it in the context of a card trick. So it was like a hands-off card presentation.
That's
location.
Exactly what I was going to say. And you could have 2 spectators come up.
Yeah.
Take your jacket off.
Yeah.
They hold your jacket in front of you.
Yeah.
So you're sort of chained up. I want you to lock me up here. Want you to lock me up there.
Yeah.
So you could maybe get a card selected beforehand.
Yeah.
drop it into a hat. You've obviously got your card where it needs to go. You're going to try and escape and find their card, or it's round your neck in a bag, or whatever it is, whatever the thing is. But you can ask them to hold the jacket while you try and escape. Then every so often you just bring your hand up and say, oh, hold it a bit higher.
Yeah.
Oh no, just hold it a bit lower.
Yeah.
So you're still getting those comedy moments. So for anyone that doesn't know, chain escape is a routine where you get chained up, but you can get out of it at any moment. I think that's a good, solid middler.
And to clarify as well, not only can you get out of it, but you can get into it quickly as well, which makes it such a good running gag. And it's really, really easy to do. Really easy to do.
And there was a great demonstrator, a good friend called Paul Henry, used to work at Davenport's when I used to go in there. He did the best chain escape I've ever seen. I mean, he used to put them on, get us to lock him in Davenport's, and he'd walk over to a stall, go to move the stall, and now he's connected to the stall. So there's so much you can do with it. You could get 5 to 8 minutes out of that by itself. So okay, we're going to go for chain escape. So let me find that.
I think they're about $19.99.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
No.
One thing I will say is if you buy a chain escape, then I would change the padlocks, because usually the padlocks you get with them are absolutely terrible. So I'd go out and buy some little padlocks. But you're right, on the nail, $19.99. So we've got, let me have a look.
So we're on a halfway budget, basically. Just over halfway budget.
Right, so that's £26.98 we spent so far. So we got roughly £23. How much is Sympathetic 10?
I'm not sure.
Now, I wouldn't, if we had Sympathetic 10, then I would probably finish the structure of the routine and finish with chain escape.
Yeah, because by its nature, Sympathetic 10 is a longer routine, isn't it? And at least with something like the chain escape, you can shorten that down. Whereas really with that, it's a feature effect. So it slots very well it slots really well in the middle of an act, and even as a closer. But I think in the context of what you're saying there, it would make a great middle effect.
Yeah, but it's out of our budget.
We haven't got it here at the moment, but we've got some more on the way. It's Final Piece, the Tenyo effect. Great effect. So let me have a look, and I think that's within budget. 21.90. So, so we're looking at tossed out deck, Final Piece. Have we got a final piece? We've got our demo one.
Yeah, let's show the effect. Let me do the effect. Andy, I'm a big fan of jigsaws. I used to do a lot of jigsaws, don't do so many now. But one of my biggest problems was every time I packed away the puzzle, put it back in the cupboard, come back downstairs, I'd find a piece on the floor.
Yeah.
Every single time. But seeing as I'm really lazy, I never bothered to put it back in the box. I used to just pop them in here. So I have got around about 50-ish pieces from different jigsaws. You can see loads of different pieces in here.
Yeah.
What I want you to do, Andy, is just give them a really good mix up. We're going to try something out.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I've been looking for a piece to complete one of my jigsaws, and I cannot find it. So we're going to see if you can find it.
Okay.
All right. So are you happy there, Mick?
Yeah.
I want you to take the lid off and just pour them out on here. Okay. Now we're going to go for any face down piece. So just take a face down piece. Don't even look at it. Just hold it tightly in your hand. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our mystery piece. Now you can tell that the pieces are all different, right?
Yeah.
You can see that quite clearly. We'll get rid of these. Let's put these back. I don't want to lose any more. But you have got one piece. Now, I did say to you I need one piece to finish my puzzle, Andy.
Yeah.
And I really do. My puzzle is over here.
Yeah.
And there is only one piece missing from that puzzle. Let me just...
Oh, hello.
One piece, you can see it right there. It was really awkward. I couldn't find the piece, but let's see how well you did, Andy. Look at that, and a perfect fit.
Yeah.
So once again, that's the final piece by Tenyo. Now, bearing in mind, I owned a Mona Lisa puzzle routine, and it cost me £500 back in the day.
Yeah.
This is 22 quid.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Brilliant
a great
trick.
effect. And I will just say that I own one of these as well, as you know. And my one is pretty much the same as what I've done with this one. I went out and got an easel from wherever, the range or whatever it was. Didn't cost me hardly anything at all. This frame I found in a charity shop. I just got rid of the original picture in there, got rid of the glass, and then I just put the Mona Lisa part together, stuck it on there, and it's only stuck on with just like blue tack, so I can just take it off if I need to. Yeah. And there you have something that goes from something on the table here to something that you can play on stage or in parlour.
Yeah,
so.
Really, really good. So, if we're going for a tossed out deck, electric or electronic escape or electronic release, and the missing piece?
Final piece.
Final piece. If we're going to set it up as a routine, obviously tossed out deck is a great opener.
Yeah.
Quick, straight in, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, what you could do is, which one would you have in the middle? Electronic release or this?
Difficult. I would say that in the middle.
Right.
Only because I think with the electronic release, you know, it lends itself to it builds and builds, doesn't it? And then you get this ending where you escape. You know, so I mean, it can play either way. I mean, they're interchangeable. If it was me, I'd probably do that in the middle.
So if you were going to do that in the middle, which makes sense, it's another bit of mentalism. You can finish on electronic release, but like you said earlier, I think if you're going to do electronic release as a closer, it needs to be part of an act.
Yeah.
So with the money remaining, which is a couple of quid, grab ourselves a deck of cards.
Yeah.
So then that will be a card trick to do with electronic release.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is build yourself a card routine. It's going to be the world's most dangerous card trick. I'm going to try and escape from these.
Yeah.
And find your card before they fall in this pint of water.
Immediately, something like I've seen people do it with Cards Across. I've seen people use the electronic release in Cards Across, you know, because it lends itself well to that, especially if you look at methods that use a deck of cards but don't necessarily use sleight of hand, so maybe a gaffed envelope or something like that. You know, because then it's a little bit more hands off, and you have that wonderful thing like Peter was saying, where you get them to hold the jacket up a little bit more, and then you can do the thing where you say, and the cards are going to move across. Look, you can see them go in, and then your arm goes back in. You know, so you've got loads of great byplay.
And you could even, like, if you're chained up like that, you could get someone to put a towel over your arms. And then every so often, you just go, oh no, can you lift your hand a bit?
Yeah, exactly.
Higher and all this. So, it's great. I think that's a really strong act. It's less than £50. And I think, I'd structure it the same way as you. We'll start off with tossed out deck, quick, impactful. Go with that. I reckon you could get a good sort of 2-3 minutes out of that, get someone up on stage and the whole presentation. And then you go into your big finale, card trick with electronic release. So they're getting magic, comedy, and a great finale where you find their card. Now, bearing in mind, we can't afford it. But if you had an extractor, you could do the extractor with the electronic release.
By all
so
means.
You're way ahead of the game. Absolutely way ahead of the game.
One thing I was just going to say, it's just going around in my head there, is if you're going to finish on something like the electronic release, obviously you've got that moment where at the beginning you've got 3 people that are out in the audience that you're doing the tossed out deck with. Then you've got one person that's going to be helping you out with that. Then you get another second person to join that person up on stage, so you've got your 2 people for the electronic release part and the card trick. But you get this moment where you are going to escape. So after the trick itself is finished and you've done the byplay, you could get out of the first bit of it and still be left in one, get them to go back to their seat, and then you escape from the last bit. And there's a wonderful moment if you see people do the electronic release where you've got it on one arm like that and you pass it around your back and then come out with this hand, completely escape from it. And that's an immediate applause cue because your arm's going up like this, you've got that there, people see just you on stage, and then that's the moment where then people will applaud. So it does lend itself very well to that sort of like structure. So.
Right, so that's it, guys. That is the act for this week. So that was a £50 act for stage with no coins.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty solid act.
That is a pretty strong act.
And if you want to know more about the products, check out the products because they are linked below. And if you like this video, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We are putting up new content every single day. So until next time.
See you later.